I received my first inoculation for the COVID-19 virus on Wednesday afternoon. I was happy to have received the Pfizer vaccine due to its high efficacy in clinical trials, 95%, which has been matched or even exceed in real-life results. However, this date is based on the inoculation being done correctly, for example, the shot into the center of the deltoid muscle. I asked the healthcare worker if I could the shot in my right. I have intermittent tingling in my left arm since the flu shot 4 to 5 years ago, much less of a problem than in the past. I asked her if she wanted me to get into the passenger side of the car. I could have done so easily. She stated not necessary. That I could just rotate my body. I became a bit concerned when she expressed some problem with me getting my sleeve far enough up, so I moved it as far as I could and she gave me the shot. As I moved to the next checkpoint, I became concerned that the shot was not high enough on my arm. I asked the next person, who may or may have been a healthcare worker, if the shot was high in WOFH, and she said yes, and made a motion as if anywhere in the mid to upper arm was okay. After arriving home, I saw articles expressing concern regarding some people not receiving the shot correctly. Doctor sounds alarm on how to properly inject COVID-19 vaccines. www.newsnashnow.com/health/coronavirus/vaccine/ Doctor sounds alarm on how to properly inject COVID-19 vaccines/ why vaccines are injected in your upper arm muscle and not in your veins. www.abc.net.au/news/science/2021-0108/COVID-19 vaccine injection upper arm muscle deltoid immune /130319118. The strength of muscle. First up, unlike the layer of fat just under our skin, muscle has an excellent blood supply to help disperse the vaccine, says Joanna Groom, an immunology researcher at the Walter and Eliza Hall Institute. Muscle contains and recruits immune cells called dendritic cells, which take up antigens quickly and stick them on their surface, like a flag. Dendritic cells then migrate to and slip into lymph nodes, which are like large meeting places for the immune system, Dr. Groom says. There, they encounter T cells and B cells, white blood cells that help defend our body against specific pathogens. A dendritic cell will present its flag to T and B cells until it finds those that recognize the antigen, then gives them the signal to multiply and, in the case of B cells, start manufacturing antibodies. In the case of COVID-19 vaccines, that amplification means they can block SARS-CoV-2 spike proteins so that the virus can no longer get into a cell, Dr. Groom says. But they also start to form that pool of long-lived memory, which is really what we want from an outcome of a vaccine. Now, to the best of my knowledge, the healthcare practitioner, are they RNs? Did not squeeze my arm, raising a fat layer. As noted in photos, not a lot of fat on my arms. Should I have any concern regarding either receiving the stated efficacy of the vaccine or the safety of where the vaccine was given? If so, what should I do about it? Thank you.
Hello, this is Dr. Stan. I am U.S. trained, board certified with 30 years of patient experience. Please allow me a moment to review your question.
The shot was given more to the rear of my tricep muscle. I sent photo to a friend who works out quite a bit, and said more to area between bicep and trice. I have sent a couple PNG photos but do not see them showing up here.
You should have no concern as to the height on your arm for the vaccination. If administered to either the deltoid or triceps, it will be effective. The reason for the deltoid is that it is usually a bigger muscle and therefore less chance of irritation. Since you did not state any significant bleeding after the injection, all of the vaccine was absorbed by your muscle and you will get the full effect of the vaccine. No reason for any concern. I hope I have addressed your concerns. Have I? Thank you for allowing me to provide assistance. I am available to answer any additional questions you may have, and I sincerely have helped you and that your medical problems are resolved soon and you feel better. Thank you.
That is a huge relief. What about the recommendation that should be intramuscular versus subcutaneous? Are you of mind that doctor an article raising alarm about the squeeze is not correct, or is more that in my case it was not a squeeze technique and I do not have a large layer, to my knowledge, of subcutaneous fat? Thank you. Does it look in photo to tricep or bicep or in between? Or how would you describe area of shot? Thank you. No bleeding for shot. Barely felt it, hope the needle was long enough.
The location of the injection is appropriate. I don't see any hematoma indicating blood leak, so there is no reason for concern. You will get the full benefit of the vaccination.
How would you concern area of shot? And would you consider it intramuscular or subcutaneous in my case? I did call my health provider care line, and RN said okay as the needle used would pierce into the muscle. Althug FH I read where sometimes using smaller needles to preserve vaccine. I know a lot of questions. I will add a tip after rating, thanks. I meant describe area, location, of shot. Here is photo from University of Washington, not that this was necessarily correct, but this also seems further down the arm.
It is intramuscular and appears in biceps. The needle length is standard and is 1 1/8 inch long. The gauge of the needle is also standard and is a 21 gauge. Your picture from UOFWA shows their band-aid about a ½ inch higher than your injection site, but yours and theirs are anatomically equivalent. The botany is that your injection was into a muscle and you will get the full benefit of the vaccination.
Okay, appreciate your help and specificity of replies. Glad to know I have good doctor to refer to in the future. Thank you.
My pleasure to help you.
I rated 5 stars, added you to favorites, but did not see area for adding tips. Perhaps John no longer has that option.
Thank you. There should be an area on your page for a bonus. Thanks again.
If you have a health question and want to chat with a doctor now, visit justanswer.com/ythealth.